Okay, so here's my question. How well do you know your numbers? Now, there's a couple different ways we can break this down. In the beginning, I just want to talk in its most basic form, the elementary numbers of running a business. I look and often study other industries, and you look at the pharmaceutical industry. I think they've really done a great job at this because at any given point in time, they have dozens of drugs that are in the R&D stage that they know if only one or two of those come to market that they can make profits. So they're willing to bet on those one or two, knowing that the other 85, 90% are not going to go to market and be losers, but the money that they make from those one or two will generate enough cash to not only make profits, but offset the losses on the others that didn't go. Now that's kind of on the extreme end of explaining numbers. But I think if you boil it all the way down to its most elementary form, numbers run businesses. Now we often talk about how processes run companies, and you need to have sustainable processes in place. And then of course you have to have people to run the processes. I believe that as a business owner myself and a consultant to other insurance agency owners and business owners in other industries, that oftentimes business owners forget the numbers that they originally once stated in their business plan or took to their banker or took to the companies that gave them contracts. And then when they look up and they just get frustrated because there's a lot of noise in this world and there's a lot of issues that come along with having teams because people have issues and all of a sudden their issues become your issues. But if you were to take all of that off the table, and if you're watching this video right now and this is speaking to you, if there was just one thing that I could just challenge you to do, is literally turn your phone off, turn your computer off, and sit there and pencil your numbers out. And if you can't do this, then get someone to help you, reach out to us, or maybe go back to that original business plan that's somewhere in a file on your computer that may take you a couple hours to find. I've been there too, I understand. But in its simplest form, what is your goal for your business? And what are you doing today that would put you on the trajectory to hit that goal? Look, activity equals results. But not only just activity, but activity in the right areas. People are really good at being busy. And it's something that we often talk about on our YouTube and in our podcast. And, we joke about it, but when you ask someone, how things been? Man, they've been busy. I mean, everyone gives you that answer. So go against that grain. Don't be busy. Be focused and focus in the right areas and know your numbers. I mean, since the beginning of time, 1 + 1 = 2. 2 + 2 = 4, and so on. That will never change. If you know your numbers in your business, if you know that you need X amount in revenue, okay, your payables, including your commissions and your fixed overhead and whatever other variable marketing overhead that you have is Y, then you know what you have to produce to cover the nut each month. If you fall up short on that, it's a cash flow deficit. If you go over and above that, it's cash flow positive, and you can take that money and reinvest and do something else with. That will never change. And probably the majority of you watching this video right now say, Jimmy, that's pretty basic. Tell us something we don't know. And I get that. But here's what I'm saying, is that the activity that gets you to that revenue number, the majority of agency owners that I talk to, I would say they say, I've got this much coming in, this much going out. But what they don't look at, and it's just often because they may not know how, they may just be reluctant to kind of stop what they're doing of being busy and dive into it, is every single day, from Monday when your feet hit the ground to Friday when you leave the office, everything you do has a value on it. Every single activity, every single phone call, every single appointment, every single marketing piece you send out, whether it's a mailer, whether it's telemarketing, whether it's web ads, doesn't matter. They all have values on it. And you need to track and measure, and you need to know which one of those are losers and which one of them are winners. Now, there is no such thing as a process that works perfect in every agency. There is such thing as processes that work perfect. So for example, you have telemarketing processes, you have lead generation processes where say you purchase leads. Then you have lead generation where we teach clients how to generate organically their own leads. Then you may have some direct mail. So you have 4 different processes that I can look in the camera right now and say they work. I've built them, I've used them, they've worked for me, and I've helped others do the same. But that doesn't necessarily mean that all 4 would work in your business. And that's not a bad thing. Each process has to emulate the agency owner. They have to emulate the heartbeat of the agency, the culture, the demographics, just there's a lot of components that go into that. Oftentimes I'll have a client say, hey, I want to hire you to build this process in my business. I say, okay, that's great. I think I can do that. But I need to learn a little bit more about you to see if I would even recommend doing that, because I don't recommend it for everyone. And then what oftentimes I've found is when I start asking questions, they don't really care how they do it. They just want to generate more leads and more revenue. But my recommendation would be, hey, instead of the one you asked for, I think this one's going to be a much better fit for you. You're going to make more money in less time, and it's going to be sustainable. Because I could do the other one and I could get it working, but when I leave, if it doesn't fit you and your model and your culture, it's not going to work. In 4 months, you're going to be calling me and say it's broken. Now, with that being said, when you do get the right fit of the process, you have to know your numbers. And that's really kind of the point of this whole video, is really just kind of trying to share some things with you. And hopefully these are things that you've heard before and that they're just now kind of starting to break through or sink in. And I know sometimes I have to hear things 15, 25 times where I'm like, aha, the bulb just went off. Well, hopefully that this is that light bulb moment for you, because I could give you all 4 of the processes. I could literally give you the keys to the kingdom on how to run these things. I could even come out and install them in your business personally and make sure that they're working and operational before I leave. But if you don't know the numbers and it doesn't match the culture and emulate the heartbeat of your business, it will not work. The good news is the numbers are simple. They're not hard. I mean, they're just, you have activity, you track and measure, like think of baseball, batting averages. You know how many pitches you get thrown, and you know what your batting average is, so you're going to hit 4 out of 10. That's not bad. So if you need to get X amount of hits, well, you know how many pitches you got to take. It's just that simple. But then also tracking and measuring it. So just like what the drug companies have figured out, and I really think the model can be applied to the same in the insurance industry, is I never recommend just having one of these campaigns. I mean, if you have 0, I recommend installing 1 at a time. But the goal is you really need to have, depending on the size of your agency, 3, 4, 5 of these things, because you're going to have some losers along the way. The economy may change, just things change, but you're also going to have more winners than losers, just like in the drug company model, where they're okay. Look, they go into business knowing that they're going to have 90% of the drugs fail and not pass the R&D phase and even get to where the federal regulations come involved. A lot more get killed there. But they're okay with that because they're doing enough and they're tracking and measuring it that every single day they know which ones are working and which ones are not working, so they don't care. It takes the emotion off the table, and they're just able to focus on the ones that are working, take them to market, and make a ton of cash. And you apply that same theory to the insurance industry, and you do the same thing. I mean, if you have 5 processes in your agency, wouldn't it be a great thing to know that you don't care if 2 or 3 of them don't work, because the 1 or 2 that you end up hitting home run on work so well that it makes up for all the losses on the other ones, and you still make a ton of profits and grow your business and help clients and all the other warm and fuzzy things that come along with it. So if there's anything you take away from this, I'm just trying to change the thought process and the mindset about, not only knowing your numbers, knowing that 1 + 1 = 2, we all know that, but knowing why that's important and how that converts into the success of your business, cash, and profits. Have a great day.